Aloha and welcome. My name is Taylor Norris, and I'm a Galactic Astrology soul reader as well as a Reiki master teacher. And in today's video, we will be exploring the energies of the upcoming full moon in Aries around September 29th, 2023. It's actually happening on the 28th, very late at night in Hawaii, but for most of us, it will be on the 29th. And the galactic energies are so strong, the astrological energies are so strong in this frequency, inviting us into divine balance. Thank you so much for being here with me right now. When you're ready, you can book your Galactic Astrology soul reading at taylornorrisreiki.com, where we do the deep dive into your galactic astrology, your natal astrology, as well as Reiki healing across your entire soul history and receiving the guidance that is for your highest good at this time, asking any questions you may have. I also have a Reiki 1 and 2 class upcoming in October. So if you're interested in learning Reiki, it's a wonderful way to support yourself and to support others during these profound times of transformation. Please read more, learn more, taylornorrisreiki.com. Also, feel free to email me, taylornorris@zohomail.com. All right, so diving into the astrology here, this beautiful full moon in Aries. And you can see what makes this a full moon is that we've got the moon in Aries here, the top of the chart, opposite the sun in Libra down here at the bottom of the chart. Now, I set this chart for Hawaii, so that's why the rising sign is the rising sign and the houses all look the way they do. But this is just how it is in Hawaii in terms of the houses. So if you're somewhere else, you can ignore the houses and the angles. Just focus on the planets, and most of these beautiful lines I will walk us right through. So, powerful full moon, Aries full moon, 4th super moon we've had in a row. Boom, boom, boom. If you haven't already gotten the message, we're going to get another clear signification and revealing, shining light, illumination of whatever the message is that the cosmos is wanting each of us to connect with. This time with the Aries flavor. So I think it's going to be pretty hard to ignore and pretty hard to discount what the message is. So we have this wonderful confluence of energies here, this wonderful blending. So you see the moon in Aries here. It's in an out of sign conjunction with Neptune and Pisces. So while it's not super tight, super close, for those who are sensitive and those who are open, you may be feeling this. I know I will be in that camp of probably feeling this. So this is almost like a following through of what we were working with in the Pisces full moon, as Neptune is in Pisces, and last month we had the Pisces full moon. So there's an opportunity to have more completions of that work that was started then, what was released and let go, and also a bit of the new beginnings too, because you see this moon is actually separating from Neptune. So again, there might be more releasing and purging and letting go that we need to do at this time, more spiritualization, more alignment of our ego will, our self will, our identity at this time. But I'm really seeing this as a full moon with some new beginnings energies as well, which full moons are typically more of those culmination energies, completion energies. But I'm seeing new beginnings here, and that's also being supported by the North Node of the moon also being in Aries. And the North Node of the moon, of course, signifying what the archetypal energy is we are being guided to embody in its higher expressions. We're asked to do Aries and be Aries, to individuate, to express our authentic and sovereign sense of I am, to be clear and direct and pioneering, courageous, to just go for it, to do the thing, to be who we truly are, no questions asked, and not to be doubting ourselves so much, or to be listening to the small fear voices that might be on our shoulders from our conditioning. It's like, brush that off. No, I'm not listening to you. I acknowledge that the fear is there. I'm going to give that fear to Neptune to handle, because Neptune knows what to do, and the releasing and the letting go into the light. And I am just going to do what my heart is compelling me to do at this time. So we also have this dynamic of the ruler of this full moon in Aries is the planet Mars. And what's interesting is that Mars is in the opposite sign of Libra. Okay, so Mars rules Aries. It's really strong in Aries. The sign opposite Aries is this Libra, Venus's sign. So Mars is in Venus's sign at the time of this full moon. So this is a very clear message of that divine masculine, divine feminine balance. What might otherwise just be a straightforward divine masculine type of frequencies, Aries full moon, suddenly has this inner feminine drive to it, an anchor to it. So this is very, very interesting. And also the ruler here, Mars in Libra, is conjunct the south node of the moon. So again, this is an energy and frequency of completions, of whatever Mars needs to let go of at this time, whatever divine masculine healing needs to occur at this time, whatever purging and of the people pleasing and codependency, the cords. What cords do we need to let go of at this time? That's really the fundamental message I see of this south node of the moon in Libra, the south node of the moon, really bringing up into our conscious awareness that which has been hidden and buried and maybe expressing itself in a more distorted way. And Mars being very clear and direct and in the sign of Libra, fair and just and in a balanced way, in a diplomatic way, in a beautiful and creative way, saying, it's time we clear those cords on out, cut cords, heal cords, dissolve cords, however that looks for you. That is the energy here. Also very interesting, we have another kite. So it's a similar configuration to last time in that it's with the same three outer planets, Neptune up here, Neptune in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, and Pluto in Capricorn. Those three players have not changed. So Neptune and Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, both in a sextile relationship to one another, 60 degrees apart each. Pluto and Uranus being in a trine geometry with one another, 120 degrees from each other. And then the completion of the grand trine comes with Mercury in Virgo, now direct. Thank you very much after that Mercury retrograde we had recently. And so the grand trine is completed in the earth signs again with Uranus in Taurus, Mercury in Virgo, Pluto in Capricorn. And you see what makes this a kite is that this Mercury in Virgo is almost, it's coming into its exact opposition with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So hopefully you are able to see the kite formation here. I know there are many more lines that can be distracting from that, but that is where the kite is. And when there is a kite, this is an initiation figure. Once again, we've been having these initiation after initiation, and here at this full moon, we have another initiation, okay? For those who are ready and willing to go through the Stargate. With the kite, we look at the tail of the kite, and that is Mercury in this case. Once again, our minds, our thinking. What are you tuning into? Are you expressing the lower frequencies of Mercury and Virgo, being completely self-doubting, bombarded with imposter syndrome, perfectionism, thinking you should be doing this or you should be this way and you're not, and look at all these ways you're falling short and everything you do is not good enough? No, no, no. Let go. Release those. Give those into the light of this full moon. Let go of those limiting beliefs and understand that the mastery comes with the mind, with attuning the mind to those intentions you may have been guided to set at the new moon we just had in Virgo. Okay, what were those new moon intentions you set? And if you didn't set any, may I kindly recommend to you at this full moon, you might want to set some intentions if you didn't already at the new moon. Set some intentions for the quality of mind that you want to experience, a peaceful mind, a grounded mind, a practical mind, a mind that is a direct channel to higher intelligence, cosmic consciousness, divine intelligence, whatever that may be, a mind that is attuned to love and service and compassion and hope and heaven on earth frequencies, a grander vision of reality where all are uplifted and all are well and happy and healthy and cared for. These are just some ideas and suggestions, and perhaps also how I personally will be working with this particular lunation is how can I next level and train my mind to the frequencies of heaven on earth so that with my thoughts and with my communications, I am weaving the fabric, the tapestry. I am giving form to heaven on earth. Every breath I take, every word I speak, every thought I think, every wave of my mental body. We already talked about this south node of the moon conjunct Mars. Mars conjunct the south node of the moon. Well, if we look directly across here, we see the north node of the moon in Aries conjunct this Chiron retrograde in Aries. So this gives a very profound, deeply healing frequency to this lunation and to really where we're at in the collective. This is going to be longer than just this lunation because the north node of the moon moves backwards. Chiron is also moving backwards from our perspective on Earth. So this conjunction is just going to get closer and closer and closer as the months go on. This conjunction of the north node of the moon and Chiron will be exact early next year, depending on whether you use the true or the mean node of the moon. It's happening around February of 2024. So we will be coming into this energy stronger and stronger. And this could even be considered a preview of what may be that culminating moment that is to come in February of 2024 when the north node of the moon and Chiron are exactly conjunct. So deeply, deeply healing moment and opportunity. What are we healing? Well, we're healing whatever you need to be healing right now, frankly, as a collective and then on that individual level. So this could be all of that Aries energy, the divine masculine feminine balance. In what ways have you renounced your own sovereignty, renounced your own wellness, your own health, and your own vitality? How can you reclaim a greater overall sense of sovereignty, a greater sense of health sovereignty, a greater sense of sovereignty in your body, in your soul mission, in your soul purpose, your ability to direct your own will, your ability to know yourself and express yourself and not hold back. Now, that's not to say just being belligerent, but to be bold and courageous in your authentic, compassionate self-expression, deeply healing energy. And what's really wonderfully supportive is the fact that Venus is gracing both ends of the nodal axis, which is extra awesome here because we already talked about the ruler of this north node in Aries, Mars, being conjunct the south node. So Mars is really helping us with this nodal axis, this evolutionary intention we have as a collective and as individuals at this time. So Venus is the ruler of this south node, and she's in a sextile relationship, a harmonious relationship with Mars and with the south node, and she's in a trine, harmonious flow of energy to this north node and to Chiron. So this just sweetens the deal. What may feel like really heavy or deep healing work we're tasked with at this time, Venus is saying, okay, you can do this. Here's the divine feminine support you need at this time to be able to do what you need to do in terms of the healing. This may come in the form of women because it's Venus, and it also may come from within you, this inner feminine energy, your feminine guides, your connection to the earth, your connection to that divine spark of creativity. Venus is in the sign of Leo, your connection to the sun, the solar frequency, that frequency again of I am and I deserve to exist and I create. And this could be a creative healing that's taking place, that's helping you with your own personal evolution. And as you take that creative action, the Venus and Leo, love yourself enough to allow yourself to be creative in whatever way you feel guided to do so. You are also affecting the collective evolution in a very positive way too. So know that it's bigger than you. And there's more on how much bigger than you that is, all of this is, when we get into the galactic energy shortly. So looking at the elemental balance, fire is the dominant element. So make sure you are cooling down and noticing any kind of inflammation that might be happening in your body. Take your shoes off, take your socks off, get those bare feet on the earth. Do whatever you need to do to ground yourself. Garden, sit on the earth, be close to the earth. That will be very, very supportive. And also, supporting this fire energy with the water energy as well. Drinking plenty of fluids. I have my lemon water right here. Cleansing yourself in your shower, thanking the water, being in right relationship with the water. We also have a dominance of the cardinal energy. So this is once again kind of what I was saying with this full moon being a lot, having not just this flavor of completion, but having this flavor of initiation and new beginnings. So if you are being guided to start something new, even with all these retrogrades, follow that guidance. There is a lot of initiatory energy here, cardinal energy. Something new needs to be born and be given the opportunity to express itself at this time. That may not be the case for everyone, but if that is something that is arising into your awareness, know that that is a potential. So looking now at the galactic charts, we have the galactic chart from galacticastrochart.com, where you can pull up your own natal galactic chart and get something that looks like this. And there are a few other versions where you can see more or less of the aspects. And then you can begin interpreting that for yourself or book a reading with someone like myself or one of the many other very qualified, certified galactic astrology soul readers. We see the sun and moon conjunct the supergalactic center, the nodes of the moon interacting with Virgo constellation, specifically Spica star, Boots constellation, Arcturus star. We'll dive into that in a moment. Jupiter is still working with Andromeda constellation, Almach star. New energy here, Crux constellation, a Crux star. We'll talk about that. Saturn is opposite Regulus star in Leo constellation. That's a new frequency for us to tap into. I'll share with you more about that. Uranus is still interacting with Centaurus constellation, Hadar star. Pluto is still interacting with Canis Minor constellation, Procyon star. Lilith and Chiron are similar to last time as well, interacting with Hydra and Cetus constellation. Looking at the degree of the moon for this particular full moon, the moon is at 6 Aries. Now, with the Sabian symbols that were channeled by a psychic, Elsie Wheeler, with the help of an astrologer who interpreted those symbols for every single degree of the zodiac, she channeled a symbol, very, very powerful and mystical, and can kind of help us tap into the astrological energies in a more right brain way. So I do like to bring them in. So with the Sabian symbols, we round up the degree. Now, this particular full moon, kind of tricky, because if you look back at the chart that I drew up shows that it's exactly 6 degrees 0 minutes Aries. So I looked at the Sabian symbol for Aries 6, and you might want to look at that too if you feel guided to. Is this really a 6 degree perfect full moon? And I did find some who had drawn up charts that said 6 degrees 1 minute. So I said, better to be safe and round up for this full moon. And frankly, too, I will also admit the symbol for Aries 6 was, it was a good symbol, but I look at this symbol for Aries 7, I was like, this is a really cool symbol. So I have here, and I will read to you this interpretation by Dane Rudger for Aries 7. A man succeeds in expressing himself simultaneously in 2 realms. Keynote: the first realization of the dual nature of man and of the possibilities it implies. This symbol represents the antithesis of the thesis pictured in phase 6. Yet, in such a 5-fold sequence, what we see is contrast rather than opposition. The primordial one-sidedness of emotional and cultural manifestation actually calls for the compensatory ability to operate at 2 levels. Thus, the primary dualism of sky and earth, of the divine and the human, of spirit and matter. The vision and the emotions are focused within sharply defined boundaries, but within these boundaries, they express themselves at 2 levels. This is the foundation of religion as well as of magic. A situation which has become characterized by this symbol can be successfully faced if its spiritual and material implications are understood and actualized. At the second stage of the second 5-fold sequence of symbols, we see at work man's capacity for living 2 separate lives and finding fulfillment and happiness in both. On this capacity are founded many of the complexities of human nature. Okay, so I invite you to notice what's coming up for you. Are you living 2 separate lives? I know I can relate to this on some levels, and I think this really has a lot to do with the duality of the Aries Libra axis and the ability of the Libra energy in particular to have a foot in both worlds. Perhaps this is speaking to having a foot in this physical realm, this earth human realm, and also having another foot, your other foot, in the cosmic realms and the etheric, the non-physical realms, and understanding that at any given time, we are always walking in both. One may be completely invisible and imperceivable to the unawakened soul, or the soul who is not currently consciously on a spiritual awakening path. But to someone who is on a spiritual awakening path, they know that the non-physical world, the dream world, the astral world, the etheric realms, the realms of magic and mystery and spirit guides and the 12 heavens of consciousness and beyond, all the various densities and dimensions and etheric beings that some of us may be connecting to. The person on the awakening path knows that that's just as real as this physical material, three-dimensional earth, human skin and bones matter realm. So very, very beautiful energy to tune into. And I invite you, what do you think about this symbol? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections. All right, so looking at the galactic energies of this full moon, we are featuring here none other than the Supergalactic center. So the moon is actually opposite the Supergalactic center, you see up here, and the sun is conjunct the Supergalactic center. So this is very, very profound. For those of you who might be hearing about the Supergalactic center for the first time or need a refresher, so the Earth is in orbit, of course, around the sun. The sun, its beautiful solar system, is part of this Milky Way galaxy. The spiraling arms around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, this supermassive black hole, the galactic center, and our beautiful Milky Way galaxy amongst a 30 or so other galaxies are all orbiting around this even greater, this more immense black hole, the supergalactic center. We see this black hole that is at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. The galactic center is an organizer for the entire Milky Way galaxy, just as the supergalactic center is an organizing principle for our Milky Way galaxy and 30 other galaxies. So this is a very powerful organizing force, this cosmic seed of creation, because black holes are not just destroyers sucking everything in, destroying life. They are also radiators of cosmic consciousness, creating the entire local area around them. So the galactic center giving birth to the Milky Way galaxy, just as the supergalactic center can be seen as a force that gave birth to many other galaxies in this whole galactic area. So this is what we're invited to connect with this beautiful full moon, have our awareness syncing up with the supergalactic center. So what may we be invited to experience at this time? Well, deep unconscious programming, trauma healing. Sounds like fun, right? Well, know that any of this you may be noticing is actually going far beyond your own ancestral lineage, okay? It's far beyond you. It is going to your own ancestry, to your own bloodline, humanity's bloodlines, as well as beyond that to galactic bloodlines and galactic ancestry as well. So very, very powerful. Any ancestral healing work you're doing at this time, know that it is supported and it is back to you, giving you the immense gratitude for the work you may be doing at this time. So there's also this light warriorship healing. Many of us in our past lives have been light warriors fighting for the light and defeating the darkness. And really, this lifetime for many of us, I know myself included, is one where I put down that sword of fighting the good fight, thinking about figures such as Joan of Arc, right? And these wonderful, skilled and talented warriors who, were really so well intentioned, that this lifetime is not about fighting as a light warrior. Instead, it's about holding the light warrior frequency in its courageousness, in its boldness and audacity, sovereignty and authenticity, but it also just bringing that light that there's no fight to be had anymore. There's no battle, because we don't get anywhere when we are fighting the darkness. Really, it's an invitation of the light, the higher frequencies, to envelop and illuminate the darkness in unconditional love, and really finding balance and compassion and acceptance here. So the opportunity is to become the light bringer, to become the light bearer. Do not have to put yourself in extraordinarily traumatic situations, to solve a problem or to fight evil or darkness, but to invite those higher frequencies to be alive within you and to radiate far beyond you, and trust that they are doing exactly what they need to be doing. All is unfolding in divine order. So this may be a moment, speaking of all this ancestral healing, that you may be redefining what roots, ancestry, and family mean to you. It might be expanding those ideas quite a lot, expanding them out to all of humanity, to the totality of the earth, and also the galactic and the cosmic elements as well. And in many different ways, this theme of right relationship is really shining through in the light of this powerful Aries supermoon. The lunar nodes, as I mentioned before, are interacting with Spica star in Virgo constellation. So down here in the shaft of wheat, that the beautiful Virgo maiden goddess is holding, this angelic, wonderful harvest goddess holding this shaft of wheat. Spica star is connected to gifts and talents, and when we see it in a natal chart of someone, it's like, wow, this person has a true gift, a true talent. And to see that the lunar south node, so the past life energies, are showing us what are those gifts and talents that are part of your soul. Maybe they were in their full mastery in some of your own past lives. And there's a chance for Mars to help you uncover them and embody them and even carry them forward into the future, into your divine plan, to put them to work and to apply them. So becoming aware of them, and then actually Mars using them, sharing them, allowing them to drive you and compel you. So what I really see this too as stepping forward into wave after wave of deep earth healing energy, because I've been talking about these nodes being with Virgo goddess for a while, and they'll be with her for a while longer. So we're having wave after wave of this energy, and it's really healing the age of Aries wounding that many of us have from the patriarchy and the total repression of the divine feminine, and the ways we were conditioned and programmed to fight one another, really, like what we were just talking about with the Supergalactic center, really returning to peace and harmony, right relationship with ourselves, each other, and the earth. This is also signifying the return of the goddess as the internalized expression of the divine feminine, and the larger goddess we see goddess consciousness in the earth, in the plants, in the flowers, in the trees, in the animals, in the divinity of the material world, the divinity and sacredness of the earth. These were messages and truths that were largely forgotten and distorted and even demonized during the age of Aries. And then in the age of Pisces, well, they were even further distorted as well. We also have this opportunity to connect with the golden age of Virgo during Satya Yuga. These frequencies, remembering from around 12,000 to 10,000 BCE in our deep past, not even that deep past, but relatively speaking, kind of deep past. So remembering incarnations and past lives and even parallel lives that we can access, like, what am I doing during the golden age of Virgo, during Satya Yuga? Bringing in those memories and those energies and tuning in to what we are up to then, if that is something that feels resonant for you. So we also have this Arcturian energy strong once again, and the Arcturians are supporting us with cord cutting, healing, and dissolving. However that may look for you, especially with that Mars there. Our personal will unified with our soul intentions for this life. So really receiving that divine Arcturian support for that unification, for that conscious awareness, and actually applying it. So there's more of the releasing, letting go, healing, purging that the Arcturians are facilitating and helping us with. And really the personal will, this Mars in Libra, accomplishing the divine feminine directive. What of the divine feminine rising is our part to embody and express at this time? So looking now at Chiron, once again conjunct this north node of the moon, we see Chiron is still interacting with Cetus constellation, the whale, the sea monster, and the star Tau Ceti. So Cetus is in many different myths. He's featured in the myth of Andromeda, for example. And in Babylonian creation myth, in the Enuma Elish, Tiamat was a primordial sea goddess whose mating with the freshwater god created the gods. And Cetus is one of 3 constellations connected to Tiamat, which is why I mentioned the Babylonian creation myth. So Tiamat was eventually defeated by Marduk, who used her remains to create the earth. So we could see Tiamat as the earth and part of the spirit of the earth as well. Okay, so what I'm seeing this as at this time is, once again, resolving the masculine feminine polarity, not relegating to an either or consciousness that, well, masculine's bad and feminine's good, or feminine's bad and masculine's good, or I'm all masculine or I am all feminine, but really coming into this harmony and this integration and this balance and this ability to acknowledge both and work with both energies in a balanced, harmonious way. Again, remembering the sacredness of the earth, the sacredness of the water, and even understanding that what looks like a monster may not really be a monster. It may be yet another expression of love. So what monsters may be coming up into your conscious awareness? How can you show those monstrous aspects of yourself love and compassion so that you're not in your outer reality, maybe so much having to experience monstrous figures, right? Who really trigger and challenge you and maybe wreak some havoc. If you're confronting those inner monsters and giving them love and integrating them in a peaceful, compassionate way, doing your own inner work, then perhaps there's a chance for your external reality to not manifest such monsters, and you're able to better see the beauty in everything and have a more peaceful, harmonious flow experience through your life. So Jupiter conjunct Almach star in Andromeda. So just a review of that myth, because I mentioned Cetus connected to her myth. She was the princess and daughter of Queen Cassiopeia and King Cepheus, who were bragging about her beauty. And this, of course, angered the gods, particularly Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, who was not happy about somebody else being is bragged about as more beautiful or the most beautiful. So the queen and king actually chained Andromeda up to a rock at sea in hopes that this would appease the gods. And I mean, this even sounds like an Age of Aries kind of low vibe story, right? Where the gods were seen as these wrathful beings who would want some kind of human sacrifice, right? So Andromeda is chained to a rock, left to die and be eaten by the monster Cetus, who we just saw in the previous slide. And what happened is that King Perseus and perhaps even the Pegasus, the flying horse, saved Andromeda. So there are some different versions of that myth. You can even see Pegasus, the winged horse, emerging out of Andromeda's head. And even the star in her head is actually can be seen as part of Pegasus constellation. So there are a lot of different ways we can look at this myth and even view these stars. But really, Almach star, Andromeda constellation is connected to freedom, to the natural balance of life and order. And what I wanted to talk about here is also this new energy, Jupiter in Taurus opposite a Crux star and Crux constellation. So we see the Crux constellation is below Centaurus constellation, the centaur here. And it's just a few stars. It's just like 4 or so stars. So a Crux is here on the right side of the cross. And really, this is bringing into our awareness a lot of deep inner power within ourselves. Okay, a lot of power. How do we access that power? Well, the key is to liberate ourselves from martyrdom. Really, with alignments to this particular star, the directive is to let go of those martyring tendencies, those tendencies to, do everything and not take care of ourselves, and everything is for others, and we got to die on the cross and bear the cross and that kind of thing. Instead, alchemizing, releasing that understanding we are powerful beings. Jesus died on the cross. That ship has sailed. I don't have to die on the cross. I can access that power. I can access that Christ consciousness, and I can use my intuition. I can let my third eye lead. When the two eyes become one, we are seeing reality through our third eye. This A Crux star is very deeply aligned with our own intuition, occult knowledge, occult wisdom. And when we see alignments with a Crux star, even think about Jupiter and Taurus. Jupiter and Taurus could be sitting around on the couch eating ice cream doing nothing, but Jupiter and Taurus could also be moving and shaking and getting things done on a very practical level and expanding our vision of what is possible and helping us be productive. A Crux star is a similar energy of time to get things done, time to get the real results, to achieve, the go-getter, to not just talk your talk and, have that Jupiterian, like Sagittarian expression of Jupiter, but to walk your walk, live your truth. And this is wonderfully, potentially very embodying energy. How can this divine feminine let her intuition lead and get the real results. This is like real new earth creations here at this time. We are supported to actually bring in a material reality that is very much guided by our intuitive capacity at this time, which may be highlighted and upgraded to its next level. Also, Saturn here has been interacting a lot with Fomalhaut star, another royal star, and now is actually interacting with the opposite star. So Saturn retrograde in Pisces is opposite Regulus star in Leo constellation, the heart of the lion, yet another royal star. And this royal star is linked to a different archangel. So it's linked to Archangel Raphael, the holy healer. Wow. So once again, we have this very strong healing support helping us with this north node of the moon conjunct Chiron. Archangel Raphael, you could not ask for a better healer to have on deck and available as a guide at this time. So Regulus is the watcher of the north as its royal star of Persia expression. It's connected to the element air and the green ray. So in your meditations, in your shamanic journeys, your Reiki journeys, if you are seeing a lot of green energy, if you're even seeing green energy in your own aura and experiencing your aura as green, this could be Archangel Raphael, and this could also be the frequency of royal star Regulus. Tuning into what Regulus star planets and realms, like what life is like there, it is very magical. It's much like this picture where it is just absolutely beautiful. It's the stuff of fairy tales and magical creatures and unicorns and fairies and fae and dragons and elemental beings and gnomes and elves and all of these wonderful beings, the phoenix birds, and many, many more, all of the magical creatures. This is Regulus energy. The Regulus star seeds, I know, are some of the most magical, tuned in human beings ever, like Santa Claus in a human body. Okay. This is that Regulus frequency. So we have a chance with Saturn to really tune into this and to take it seriously, to not just dismiss if you're perceiving fairies or you're remembering yourself as a fairy or you're connecting with magical creatures when you're out in nature, to not dismiss that, to really understand that that's real and that's part of the magic and the mystery and the blessing and the healing of this Regulus star. And we see the Regulus star is a big blue, very bright and luminous radiant star. It's the alpha star of the Leo constellation. Now, in charts, when we see this particular star highlighted, it can promise success. It can promise fame and glory and all these things, these material acquisition and really being quite prominent and influential as a leader, accomplishing a lot. However, with all the royal stars, we see a nemesis, some kind of challenge that they have to overcome. And with Regulus, it's revenge. So there may be a temptation as you're rising to such heights and such glory into your own authentic leadership, for example, your own authentic royalty and sovereignty, to want to take revenge. And really, that's like the only way you can go wrong with Regulus, right? That's like the key way you can go wrong is actually by taking revenge. So don't take revenge. Let go of this temptation. Give it into the light. If you're feeling, wounded around this, just give it to the light. Give it to the light of Reiki. I'll be sharing a Reiki journey for this full moon. And that will be a chance for you to let go of any temptations for revenge if this is something that's coming up for you. So Uranus is still opposite Hadar star in Centaurus. And so looking at this energy afresh, so you see it in Centaurus constellation right here, like in kind of like the shoulder area of the horse part of Centaurus. So looking at it fresh, because I've looked at it several other times, what I'm really seeing it as this time is shaking out stagnant energy. Okay, particularly stuck physical and mental energy, because Uranus is in trine to the Mercury in Virgo that's going to exactly complete this trine in the days after the full moon. So alchemizing stuck physical, that would be Uranus and Taurus energy, and mental energy, Mercury and Virgo, into new earth creations, because that's all part of this grand trine, Uranus, Mercury, and Pluto. Embodied energetic composting, okay? Composting all of that stuck energy. It's like been growing, and it's time to prune it and chop and drop chop and drop that old physical mental energy. Shake it out, get the seeds that you need from it, put it on the ground, let it compost, let Pluto handle that composting part. And that's really going to give way to these new earth breakthroughs, especially the mental new earth breakthroughs that are going to help us so much more in our manifestations going forward. So the second to last energy I will mention here is that Pluto that's helping us with our compost and our alchemy here. So Pluto is opposite Procyon star in Canis Minor. You see the little dog here up on the unicorn's back. And this is Procyon star. It's a binary star. Okay, we're working with duality here, obviously. And so what is the message that Pluto is really drilling down with us? So Pluto goes direct in October, around October 10th. So this is like the final times that we are really working with this 27 degrees of Capricorn, Pluto working with us. So really, the message is to become aware of your entire unconscious, all the different soul aspects, the shadow, the dormant self. Allow those to come into your awareness and be healed and revealed and blessed and nurtured, and whatever is needed for your highest good at this time, becoming aware more of your multidimensional self. So Pluto is still square the lunar nodes of the moon. What are the final steps you need to take, the integration that needs to happen to prepare for the new cycle that's beginning with Pluto moving into Aquarius once again in January 2024, and then finally for good in November of 2024. What are those final steps, those final preparations you need to make? It's time to do it. It's time to Pluto square the note. You got to do it. Okay, Pluto will not let you ignore it in this time around. So this is a stage just before becoming one with the shining ones. What is your soul calling upon you to do to become? The full moon can illuminate your awareness around this, unearthing the deep secrets of earth and space within yourself. You don't even have to go anywhere to understand and reveal these secrets. They are contained within you. They're contained within the unconscious, along with everything else. So how can you more fully embrace change now? What small sign can you give the universe that you are ready to step forward boldly into change? How have you changed this past year? In these final days and weeks of Pluto retrograde, you can reflect on how have you changed this past year. And once again, what way can you really signal to the universe that you are embracing change, that you're not just being stuck in resistance, can let go of that resistance, and that you are saying yes to change. You're saying yes to the age of Aquarius. You're saying yes to your soul growth and evolution. You're saying yes to becoming a shining one because you already are one. So Lilith is conjunct Alphard star in Hydra. So this energy, Lilith, of the dark feminine, the first woman who was created and would not submit to Adam, who was either expelled from the Garden of Eden or left because she just didn't want to be there. She wasn't going to submit to it. What's interesting is Black Moon Lilith is conjunct Venus. So both Venus and Black Moon Lilith are really allowing us into the secrets and the magic and mystery of this Hydra constellation, the heart of the serpent here, Alphard star. And you see, this constellation is literally loaded with divine intelligence. It's one of the longest constellations, expanding across 4 different zodiacal signs from Leo to Scorpio, I believe. So really, this is, again, like Pluto, mining the unconscious, transmuting strong feelings, particularly anger, into conscious passion and devotional strength and determination. And with Venus there, we're really being helped, we're really being supported, that the 2 divine feminine sisters are holding hands. I'm seeing now also that this black moon is opposite Saturn in Pisces. So that adds another layer of dynamics. That is like patriarchal conditioning, religious trauma, religious conditioning. Purge it out. Become aware of the ways that it has been burdening you. Let it go. Let it go. Let the snake eat it. Let the snake take it away. Let the snake and the dragon help you with that transmutation process. Again, because this serpent, it has the tools. It has all the tools of the ascension mysteries, of how to become your authentic self, how to ascend into your light being, your divine consciousness within physicality, really unifying your soul and your spirit with all that is within the inner technology of your human vehicle. This constellation contains all of those secrets and can help you really reveal them at this time. And we have both divine feminine sisters, Venus, the one that's looked upon and said, okay, you can be around here, you're beautiful, and that part of the divine feminine, Lilith, who's like, no, you can't be here. Well, guess what? They're both here. And they're both helping us with this process, particularly that unprogramming, that deconditioning from the patriarchal and the religious trauma and programmings, and saying, hey, our heart energy is valid and our heart light is strong and we are meant to shine, and we have our space to take up here, our voice to share, our truth to share, and our love to give. Here we are. Here I am. So I want to thank you so much for being here for this long video exploration of the full moon in Aries. My hope that it was of benefit to you. If it was of benefit to you, please like, share, comment, subscribe, let me know, connect. I invite you to dive deeper and connect with me soul to soul at TaylorNorrisReiki.com. I offer galactic astrology soul readings, more regular astrology readings, as well as Reiki sessions, one-on-one Reiki classes. We've got Reiki 1 and 2 coming up in October, and my monthly free new moon distant Reiki share that you're always welcome to join every single new moon. The next new moon is in Libra and it's a solar eclipse, so definitely timely to come and join the circle of love and light and healing that is the new moon distant Reiki share. And you're invited even if you've never taken a Reiki class, you have no Reiki experience. That's okay. Everybody is welcome. Thank you for being part of my soul family. I appreciate you so much. Aho, amen, namaste, so it is, mahalo.